We are in Unit 4, Chapter 6, Section 6.1, Valuation of a bond. So this is where we are finding how to do bonds. So it has a specific method for calculating them, and with them, of course, we get new equations and new variables, which I know we're super excited for. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. So the first piece we need to talk about is F. F is the face value. So F is the face value of the bond. It's also called, it's like our original value or the principal. Okay, V is the value of a bond on a given date. Usually that's what we're trying to find is V. C is the redemption value. So usually it's at par, but sometimes it's not. So we're going to look at examples of each of those. So again, this is the redemption value of a bond, and usually it's the same as F. It's the same as F unless it says it's called at something. That's the only time it would be different. I is the interest rate earned per period. Okay, N is really going to be little n, and this is the number of coupon dates or interest payments from purchase date to maturity date. Okay, so that's how many compoundings that we're doing, just like normally. And IB is the interest rate paid per bond per bond period. Okay, paid per bond period. So that's the bond's interest rate, which is why it's FIB. So our equation here is going to be V equals C times 1 plus I to the negative N plus F times IB, 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative N all over I. Right, so this is our A sub N just like before. FIB is going to be the face value times the bond interest, so that's what we earn each period. And then our C is going to be the redemption value. Again, usually F and C are the same, unless specifically otherwise noted. So that's when I'll say called at whatever, and I'll show you how to deal with that in a moment. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We're going to do example 1. Find the value of a $7,000 bond with an interest rate of 6% payable semi-annually if the bond is bought 5 years before maturity to yield 7% compounded semi-annually on the investment. Okay, so just kind of helping us sketch our timeline. The bond is $7,000, so it's going to go over here, and that's going to be our F. That's the face value of the bond, and then the bond has interest at 6%, so that means IB is 0.06, and then we're semi-annually, so it's going to be over 2. If the bond is bought 5 years before maturity, so that means over here we have 5 years before, or you could put the 5 years over here and just leave that as now. It's up to you. It needs to be on your timeline somewhere. To yield 7% compounded semi-annually, so we know our I is 0.07 over 2 on the investment. Okay, so we want to find the value, so this is V. Okay, and then this is F, and this was IB, and then this was I. Okay, just putting all the pieces together. So what we want to do first is we want to figure out FIB, because what we're going to do is we're going to calculate that separately and then plug it in, because it makes our calculations just a little bit easier. So we're going to find F times IB. So it's going to be 7,000 times 0.06 over 2, because that's our IB over here. So when we do that on our calculator, $7,000 times 0.06 over 2, we get $210. So that means every month the bond is going to earn that $210. And now we're going to take that and plug it in our formula. So here we weren't told anything about C, so that means F equals C, and again that's our 7,000. So those are the same because we need that as well. And then we also need N. Okay, so here we're doing semi-annual for 5 years. So that means we have 5 years times 2 compoundings per year. So the years cancel, so that gives us 10 compoundings or interest periods. So that means N is 10. So we're going to have 7,000 times 1 plus 0.07 over 2, because that's our I, so negative 10, plus 210 times 1 minus 1 plus 0.07 over 2, so negative 10 over 0.07 over 2. Okay, so this is real similar to what we were doing before, because what we're doing is we're moving this back to the 5-year mark, and then we're moving each of these payments back to the 5-year mark as well. So it's all moving with us. So when we plug this into our calculator, because we could do it all at once, so when we do that, we get our V. So V here would be 6,708 and 92 cents.